All right, guys, we're back here for another video. If you believe 100%, it will happen to you, and it's gonna happen so quickly. Just wait. I'm telling you, you're gonna be head over heels as to what's about to happen to you. But you have to truly believe deep down at your deepest level. Now, we're gonna go deep into exactly what I mean by believing in yourself 1,000% and how you can change this and where to even begin to look. Because obviously, it's a little bit easier said than done to believe in yourself, especially 1,000%, let alone 100%. But you have to go all out. I'm just getting this overall message that you have to change in this aspect where you can believe in yourself way more than what you have in the past. Now, we all have limiting beliefs that are from the past, some that we've overcome and some that we haven't. But we're gonna dive deep into this and how exactly you can overcome this and how you can really almost like trick your brain into believing that you can almost like just manifest anything you want. Like anything, like as big as you can even imagine. It doesn't even have to have this limitation towards it. So let's get started. I wrote down about a couple things in my whiteboard, so I'll be looking at this whiteboard a little bit, but think about it. You have your untapped power. You already have the ability to move from point A to point B, whether you realize it or not. That power is always there, but it's just about lingering and grabbing and just feeling like you can attract that to you by accepting it, because it's there. We all know that we feel this like big, like, ooh, I'm good at this, or oh, I'm good at that, or oh, I feel like I'm gonna be really good at this. You can feel it in your body, right? So the question that I wanna ask you is, how? Why? Why do you feel that? Well, there's many answers. It definitely comes from the universe. It comes from your intuition, who you are as a person. But how do we get to that 1,000% belief? Because most of the time those feelings do come up, you feel really good. You're like, oh, wow, this is great, but you don't feel them all the time. Now, it's okay. You're not supposed to really feel them all the time, but it's about how you deal with that when you're not feeling like that some of the time. So we're going to dive deep into this, but you are more than what you're thought to believe. Think about this. Think about this, for example. When you were a kid, when you first grew up, you probably at some point were told you just weren't good enough at something, whether it was math, whether it was baseball, whether it was soccer, whether it was drawing, whether it was eating, whatever it might have been. Who knows? That person, that version of you still exists in you today in some aspect of your life. And you know what it is. You can feel it. You know exactly. It came right to your mind instantly. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the point that I'm getting to, is that you just have to transform from that belief of, hey, I'm not good enough. Hey, I need to work in this area. And yeah, maybe some of this is definitely true. Maybe you do need to work in this area. But it's about understanding that you can be more and that you already are more. You just don't know it yet. You almost have to like remind yourself that you are more. And sometimes that's the beauty of it. It's all about remembering. It's not about necessarily forgetting. It's about remembering, because it really takes a lot of effort to remember something. It takes a lot of effort to believe something specific about yourself, whether that's your own self-worth or believing that there's more for you in general, right? So that's why believing in yourself 1,000% is difficult, but it's almost like you kind of have to keep taking this step, one step forward, two steps back kind of thing with yourself. And that's okay. That's a part of the journey. Understand that you're not messing up if you're in that situation. So keep that in mind. What else do I have written down here? You have everything you need already. We kind of already drawn on this, but you already have everything that you need already in this life. You have everything that you need to be able to truly believe in yourself 1,000%, but you have to be willing to do it. So what does this look like? Like what are the steps necessary to get to this 1,000%, as we like to call it? Breaking old patterns. Simple patterns. They could be super simple stuff that all leads up into one thing. See, a lot of people think that they got to break beliefs and they got to start with the strongest one first. The hardest one, the one that's the most difficult, the biggest boulder to push. And that's not necessarily true. You can actually work on little small beliefs that are patterns. I mean, beliefs are literally just subconscious patterns in our mind, whether it's as simple as, oh, I brush my teeth right before I go to bed, or, oh, I brush my teeth an hour before I go to bed, and then I read. Like those are patterns and beliefs that we associate to those things. So really focus specifically on breaking the patterns that are obviously stopping you, but don't be afraid to break the little ones too. I think the little ones really teach us a little bit more than the big ones, because in my head, at least, I don't know if anybody else can relate in this aspect, but I feel like whenever I break a small pattern that used to exist that I know is not like good for my life anymore, it feels really good. It feels really good. And even if it was so simple as, I don't know, like right now I'm standing at my desk. I have a standing desk. Like instead of sitting, I could stand. I have the power to do that, you know? And it's just a choice. At the end of the day, it's all choices. And if you pay attention every day to how the choices you're making are affecting your life and where you can change the choices, even if they are small, like drinking water right when you wake up, great habit, but some people don't do it. I try to do it as much as I can. You know, we're all thirsty in the morning when we wake up. But the point is you got to break those old patterns. Break them, find them, break them, and it's going to be work. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but a part of transforming and becoming the new version of yourself is all about getting uncomfortable, feeling okay to be comfortable. And none of us like to be uncomfortable. Let's admit, none of us like it, but it's a part of life and it's a necessary part of transformation into something new and something different. So definitely breaking those old patterns. But I think that today you're ready to release one of those beliefs right now. Now, I don't know what that specific belief for you is going to be, but I can give you some examples. So one of those beliefs that you can get rid of right now is that you are not good enough. You know, it's a choice. It's a choice to understand that you are not good enough. And yes, you might not be skilled in the thing that you want to do yet. So you might feel like that's not good enough, but you're actually great enough and you're meant for it perfectly because you decided to make that choice of that change. So know that just because you're early in the stage doesn't mean you're not good enough. For example, Leonardo da Vinci, the guy who, you know, made the crazy paintings. Do you think he felt like he was not good enough throughout his life? I don't know if it was him who went like super famous after he died, but do you feel like he probably felt like he wasn't good enough? Maybe to other people, but to himself, he definitely knew he was good enough from the moment he started because he was a great painter. He believed in the fact that he could become something great. Now, obviously, he didn't get to live to see the length of his work and all that stuff, but he became something he knew he saw in his mind first, and that only him could see. So that thing that you want in your life, that specific thing that you want, you have to believe in it 1,000% because it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. And it's almost like an experiment. See it as an experiment. Don't see it as this thing where it's like, oh, if it doesn't happen, I'm a failure. Oh, if it does happen, I'm a really, you know, big ego, big success guy, like whatever. You just have to see it as if it happens, it happens. It's an experiment. It's what I could see, what I can do, what you can do. So really just focus on trying to believe in yourself more and more every single day in different aspects. You could believe in yourself in general, you know, just by feeling good, being like, yeah, I believe in what I'm doing. Boom, simple. That's a general thought. Or you could go even deeper and say, you know, I believe that I can make $1,000 days every single day. And they're consistent to me and they're easy and they feel good. See how that belief is different? So kind of mess around with your beliefs and maybe just experiment a little bit. Like really, I urge people to experiment the most in their life. And where does this experiment happen? It happens in your head. Happens in your head, happens in the conversations that you have, but it all starts in your head. All with your intuition. And you will know when you're kind of like a little bit wobbly and you need to realign. So just keep in mind about that. But really, the last thing I have written down here is truly understanding your power. Really, truly understanding your power is probably going to be the best thing because, like I said, it's an experiment. It's not something that's just like, oh, my power is over there? All right, let me just go feel it real quick. Boom. It's not like that. It's something you have to kind of like really actively step into. You know, you want to step into it because it's going to feel uncomfortable in those first couple steps. It might feel uncomfortable in the first 100 steps. But when you actively go towards change and actively go towards what it is that you want with full belief that it's going to happen, even if it never happens, it's almost like your belief attracts it to actually happen in this reality. It's this weird, like, quantum realm thing where it's all there at the same time and it already exists. Because here's another thing. I truly believe, and I know a lot of you guys definitely believe in this, and you've probably definitely heard this before as well. But when you believe in something so much in your head, it's there because the future self of you already has that thing. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but I've heard that plenty of times, and man, oh man, I can think of countless experiences where I've felt like my intuition was just talking to me. It was just chirping in my ear saying, hey, you're gonna make 100 grand this year. You're gonna make over 200 grand this year, or whatever the case may be. It might have been something really small, but the point being is that when you feel it, you can connect with that version of yourself. That's your higher self. That's your future self saying, I already have it, dog. Why do you think it's in your mind? Because it's already a reality. It already played out, and you just have to let it go its course and let it go the journey. And that's also another thing about your belief. You kind of have to believe that you need to be patient. If you believe deep down inside that you are patient, regardless of how impatient you are, you can always become patient. It's always just about settling the mind back into the body, settling it down into, it's okay. I'm on the path. I believe. Because if I believe 1,000% that this is going to happen no matter what, I'm not giving up. I know the universe is after it. I know the universe wants me to have this. All I have to do is just be willing to receive it and be in the vibration to receive it. And that's where believing 1,000% really comes into play. Because you're speaking the language of that manifestation. Every day. You got to do it every day for a long period of time. It could show up tomorrow. It could show up next week. There's no time limit on when this could happen. But if you are in that frequency, it'll show up quick. It'll show up quick. I'm telling you. I've had it happen plenty of times. Now, I'm kind of running low on time right now, but I want to say one last thing. I want to kind of end it with a story of how I believed 1,000% one time and it really happened. I've shared a couple stories on this channel before, but this specific story, I might have said it in my other video, but if you're listening here, this is specifically for you to listen to. So I, back in 2019, really wanted to have a viral video on YouTube. I used to do gaming videos and I learned a lot from it, but I wanted a viral video specifically because I saw all these other people doing this specific format of a video with a title and a certain thing happening. And I was like, all right, now's my time to go. I want 1 million views on this video. I went, I uploaded the video, and a week later it hit 1 million views. And I was not even getting anywhere close to those views on the daily. And it caused my channel to completely explode. And I did one thing, and I'll never forget it. And this is where it's valuable for you. Truly believing that this was going to happen, obviously because of the circumstance and the opportunity. Don't get me wrong, you do need to meet up with opportunity. Have that opportunity, but there's so many opportunities out there. I promise you. You already know what your opportunity is, or opportunities. But you see that opportunity, you meet it with your belief, and you know that it's going to happen, and then boom, they collide, and you got one of these. You got one of these, and it really happens. But it doesn't always happen because of our belief, I like to think. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean you're not believing hard enough. It just means that maybe it just hasn't happened yet, or your belief towards it happening in a certain time frame is affecting it. It's really complex. It's really complex, but sometimes it just shows up like out of nowhere. So the point being is just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself 1,000%, and it will show up quickly. I promise you. It'll show up quickly, and quickly could mean a lot of different things as well. We kind of really didn't go over this, but quickly could mean 6 months to some people. 6 months is quick for some people. A year is quick for some people. 2 years is quick. 2 minutes is quick for others. It's about how you perceive quick in your mind. And just paint the picture, man. Paint the picture. Paint the picture of what you want in your life and really just make it happen. Just experiment. What's the worst that could happen? You win? That's all I could say. So go ahead, believe in yourself. Whatever the heck you got going on in your life, I know you got it. I know you got this. I'm rooting for you. So comment down below. Would love to hear more about your guys' journey. Thank you for subscribing. We're starting to get subscribers now. Super hyped. So we're going to keep this going. And I was supposed to be posting every day, but we missed a day, unfortunately, but that's okay. Got to get my wisdom teeth out next week, so you're probably going to see a little bit of repeat videos this week, but they are important messages. So stick around. Don't forget to check out the next video tomorrow, and I will see you guys all again next time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you and peace.